Mm. And we're back. Yes, this is episode 4 of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for Adult Business Owners and Entrepreneurs. The podcast specifically for adults who wake up every morning saying, hey, man, I need to do more deals. I need more sales because I need a vacation, but I got to take care of my obligations. That's right. That's right. That's right. And one of the things that people always talk about, man, when we're talking about marketing and sales and how to get more of them is price. You I sit down with people sometimes and they're like, man, well, how do I sell the big ticket item? How do I sell the 20 to 30 to $40,000 item? And then I sit down with other people who are scared to raise their price and they're giving away everything and always putting it on sale. And that puts them in a bad position. So to speak to the first one, yes, we'll talk about how to sell 30, 40, $50,000 items because it's really not any different than selling anything else, first and foremost. But second of all, let's talk about the people who are lowering their price, always putting it on sale. It's Christmas time, and Christmas time is right around the corner. And putting it on sale might put you in a real bad position because the last thing you want to do is waste your best opportunity of the year to make some money for you and your family by giving away all your profits, by putting yourself in a position where you cannot get enough product because you're not making enough money to get it products and take care of you. Putting yourself in a position where, hey, you got to work the floor, um, you got to work the phones because you don't have enough money from these deals that you made. Because, man, deals are hard to get. Let's be real. But you don't have enough money left over from these deals so that you can pay other people. So when you start talking about price, it is important to understand how it works and how to do it without running away your clients, how to raise it without losing sales. And most of the time, it's just simply how you talk about it. How you talk about it, how you present it, and how you see it. You know, because on one hand, you have cost, and on the other hand, you have value. Okay. And if the value is higher than the cost, which is what we usually talk about, how do we get people to buy it? Well, we get people to buy it when the value is higher than the cost. Okay. Well, what's value? It's like, well, what is value? I mean, people always talking about adding value. You know, how do I add value? I'm adding value. I just added more value. Here's the thing. Value is simply let's look at it from this standpoint. Okay. Value is the added benefits above whatever it is that you are doing. If you are doing a task or a job. For example, you do nails. Okay. So if I'm doing nails, the job that I've been hired to do is to do your nails. Now, the value is all the additional benefits that come with getting your nails done. You know, um, your hands look better to your mate. So now they want to hold them. So now, not only have I done your nails, I've also put you in a position to have a romantic evening, to sit next to your partner and they want you to touch them. To some people, that's important. Added value may be um, you look more professional. So now you have an opportunity to get a job that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten. Um, value, the additional things, the unseen things. Sometimes when I look at what I do, um, yeah, it's marketing. But at the same time, as always tell you, it's like in the beginning, people were paying me by the hour and I was giving them processes, strategies, and formats that were allowing them to make money for years for $100 for 1 hour of my time. So I gave you something that you could use for the next 5 years and generate 500 times what you paid me. But you could also take care of your family, also retire your wife, also hire more customers, also open up other streams of income. See, additional value. So that's one way to look at value. Now, the other way to look at value is faster. easier with less stress. So that's the second way to look at value. It's like, okay, cool. Not only did I give you all that other stuff for that $100 back in the day, and don't charge that now, but back in the day, not only did I give you all of that, I also was able to do it in some cases in 10, 15 minutes. You know, I've had people have a conversation with me in the grocery store and it turned into $500. So faster, easier. Depending on the client and how much they've invested in me, I might actually create the emails, create the marketing plan, and put together the schedule that they need to go out on and send them out for you. You know? So not only are you getting the quote unquote marketing, but now you're getting a plan that you don't have to do any work to implement because I did it for you. So how much does that lower your stress level? Now you don't have to read any of the books. Now you don't have to take any of the classes. Now you don't have to do any of the work. You just actually hire the person and the person takes care of everything else. So again, value is the stuff that you don't see. Yeah, he did the job, but man, he was fast. It was easy and immediate return on investment, and I didn't have to do anything. So there's that value. Um, and then there's also the value of how other people now see you because of it. You know, um, I wrote a book called God Wants You to Dominate, but then also wrote another book with Dwayne Ransford where it's called The Big Picture. Secrets to being rich from somebody who's rich. Never one book from people who don't come from money, who are trying to get money. But now you get to add author to your name, which now makes people look at you a little bit different. Because not everybody can write a book. So if you wrote a book, it gives you a little bit more status. You know, man, you wrote a book. Yeah. So people automatically assume you're smarter. People automatically assume you're more disciplined. People automatically assume that you are capable of some things that the average person isn't capable of. No different than if you have a podcast or a TV show, or your own business or your own brand. There's the assumption that you're in a different class than the average person. So if someone can actually help you do any of those things, they're not only helping you do the actual task of writing the book, produce the podcast, they're actually helping you elevate your status, improve your brand. And by improving your brand, as we always say, the dollar value goes up. It becomes yesterday's price is not today's price. There are clients that I've worked with, once they started doing more business, then all of a sudden people want to put them on podcasts. So hey, if we elevate your profile and my team and I improve your website, my team and I improve the overall look of you, it becomes the Deion Sanders effect. You look good, they pay good. You sound more intelligent, more people want to book you. You know, your stuff converts at a higher rate. Now people want to come to you and ask you how you did it. Had a client one time who was doing very well, and other people were coming to them like, well, man, how do we market like you market? There weren't marketers, but because they were doing it with so much precision and so well, other people wanted to copy it. So those are the benefits outside of it. There are the long-term benefits, or hey, this is going to work for years to come. There are the short-term benefits of actually just solving the problem. But then we move over into easier, simpler, faster. So that's what value is. Can I make it easier, simpler, faster for the client? Can I give them something that even though they paid for it in 2020, they're still benefiting from it in 2023, added over time? Can I elevate their brand, elevate their status with what I do? And if you're a business owner and you're not factoring that into your cost, then you're leaving money on the table. And how you gonna pay your bills if you're leaving money on the table? How you gonna take the vacation and take care of your obligations if you're leaving money on the table? How you gonna do that? Just tell me, explain it to me. So again, and the person says, well, what is cost? Cost is just simply what it costs. What is it costing the person? Is it costing them money? It's costing them time. Um, is it costing them discomfort? Because if you can alleviate those things with faster, easier, simpler, and less stress, now it's less of a burden financially because look at what the trade is. I'm going to take away all your burdens in minutes, and all you got to do is give me some money. Now, here's how you make that work for yourself as a business owner. If you've been following me, if you watch me, if you worked with me, if you know me, I talk about there are only two kind of customers that matter: those who really want and those who really need. Now, if you are talking to the two customers that matter, the ones who really want it and the ones who really need it, they're not going to try to lowball you. They're not going to try to price shop. They're going to pay you what you're worth. Matter of fact, they'll even pay you what you negotiate. You might not even be worth it, but they'll pay it because they really need that solution. It becomes okay. Well, what do they need? They need an easier, faster way that works. And you're offering an easier, faster way. When people start talking about target markets, it doesn't really matter if they don't really want or really need it. I'll give you this example right here. You could say, hey, I want a husband or wife, and I want them very attractive, very intelligent, very physically appealing. But if that person doesn't want to get married and doesn't want to be in a relationship, does it really matter if you targeted them? If they don't really want it and you're constantly saying, but I want to be with you, but I want to be with you, be with me, and they don't really want to be with you, is it really going to work out in your favor? No. If they don't really need to be in a relationship to be happy, even though you like them, is it really going to work out for you? Probably not. Same thing in business. When people don't really want to really need it, then it becomes, I want a discount. I want a deal. I want to shop around. Why? Because I don't really want it that bad. I don't really need it that bad. I can survive without it. As long as I'm surviving about it without it, and I feel comfortable that I'm not going to lose my shelter, lose my status, lose my um, basic needs, I can wait. I can wait because I don't really need it right now. I got enough money to make it to the end of the year, so I don't really need a job right now. We saw that during you know, post COVID, when people had stimulus checks and PPP loans and all those things. Those people were like, man, I'm just chilling. No, I ain't ready to go back to work. No, I don't want that job. No, that job don't pay enough. Why? Because they were able to survive and their safety wasn't threatened. But there were people who had gotten laid off and had run out of savings and had spent all their PPP who would take any job that called them. You know, got a homie right now who's holding out for a job at the dollar amount that she wants. Now, the dollar amount she wants is probably closer to 200K. You know, now there are some jobs that would hire her yesterday for 90K. Now, if she wasn't able to pay her bills and still keep maintain her lifestyle and still feel safe that none of her needs or wants were being threatened, she'd be fine. She wouldn't be well if she was if they were threatened, she would take those jobs because she wouldn't want to be homeless. She wouldn't want to be without, you know. So again, you want to focus on people who really want and really need. And when you're focusing on them, the thing you need to focus on is what do they really want and really need. You know, what do the people that I want to do business with really need? Do they need it faster? Do they need it easier? Because a lot of times, in my industry, easier is important. So I offer templates. If you have a template, now all you got to do is, hey, you just put your company name right here. put your business right here and hit post. So for a lot of people, easier is better, you know. Or hey, I'll send you out the emails. I'll send them out to your team. Your team just has to send them out to your list. Easier is better. So that's a tipping point. Same thing when you go to McDonald's. Easier is a selling point for McDonald's. It's like if you order it online, you don't even have to come in the store. That's easier. It allows you to get to your job without the hassle of waiting in a line. Boom, immediately that moved McDonald's to the top of the list. Because it was easier, it was faster, it was simpler. You know, when you're at work and you're like, man, I need to run out and grab something before this meeting. Cool, let me order it online. I'll pick it up and come right back. And then Uber Eats came along, and that took it to a whole nother level. It's like, okay, cool, you don't even have to leave the office anymore. We'll bring the food to you. Easier, faster, but not cheaper. See what I'm saying? People need that food delivered so they can keep working, so that their safety and survival isn't threatened. So they paid an extra $7 or $8. They ordered food that they probably could go into the store and get with a coupon or get a combo. They throw all that stuff out the window. Why? Because I need it to come to me, which is how easier, faster works. So again, you're like, well, how do I show or add value? Okay. Now, one of the ways to add value is just simply by showing your customers who have already benefit from working with you. You know, I call it students to stars. You literally just show what you did for them. If you're a trainer, hey, show the before and after. And then when showing the after, ask them how they feel. Because we get that we're going to help you lose the weight, but now, how does it feel now that you lost the weight? How do people look at you differently now that you've lost the weight? What things are you capable of doing now that you weren't capable of doing before? Okay. When did you know that it was working? You know, if you had to do it over again, would you do it over again? How hard was it to do? See, that's how you add the value and show the value to your future customers. You take the customers you have, you stick them in front of a camera, you do a podcast with them, you ask them to write a testimonial, but you also want to show the outcome. How much easier was this than you thought? You know, because the person sitting at home is like, oh wow, not only did you make more money, but you were able to retire your wife too. Oh wow. You hired him in 20, but you're still making money in 2023. Whew. See, that is much easier to understand than, hey, $40,000 from a program, or hey, get the deluxe model, you know, just because I need you to buy it, just because I want to sell it for more. If there is nothing in that package or in that product or in that service that makes it easier, faster, simpler, creates more value over a longer period of time, then again, people aren't going to give you their money. I mean, even when you look at real estate, what do they talk about? They talk about the neighborhood. You know, there's no crime, there's good schools, there's easy access to the highway. They selling a house, but why are they talking about all of these other things around the house? Because it adds value. It's close to the freeway, so you can hop on the freeway and go to work. It's only 5 minutes from the train station. Again, benefits that you don't see when you're looking at the house. But if you buy the house, you definitely won't regret having. So again, that is how you show your value. That is how you add value. Okay. Now, of course, for people at home, it's like, well, man, how do I raise the price then? One of the cool things that I do when we start talking about raising prices is tell people I'm gonna raise the price. And you're like, oh, okay, that sounds really simple. Okay, here's what we do. If I'm raising prices on January 1st, I start telling people September 1st that the price is going up January 1st. Why would I do that? So that people will buy it. Okay. If it's $75 right now and it's going to be 150 January 1st, and I'm telling you in September, I'm going to keep telling you every 3 or 4 days that, hey, don't forget the price is going up. So you got to get it now because yesterday's price will not be today's price or tomorrow's price. And what that does is that creates a sense of urgency for people who would do business with you to do business with you now. So not only do I get to raise my price and there's no surprise when it goes up, I get a quick bump in sales for a whole bunch of people who are kind of on the fence and not sure and not ready. So again, I got short-term gain by getting money into my accounts, by getting money on my books, and then I got the benefit of the price going up. So the correct way to do it, in my opinion, based on the things that I've done that have worked, is just telling people up front, hey, price is going up. It's a new day, price is going up. Now, another way to raise your price is just to create a different package. You know, create a package and then you add in other items. Like you look at McDonald's. I'm using McDonald's today. I don't know why McDonald's is on my mind because I'm probably not going to McDonald's today. But you look at it and you say McDonald's created a combo meal. Now, all of these items individually have a profit margin. But if you take the thing that costs you the least and you stack it on top of the other two things, and then you raise the price, people very seldom notice. So you bundle things together. You know, if you do landscaping, for example, you know, break it down into edging, trash removal, um, weed whacking, weed removal, all of these different things, and then create a brand new package, call it VIP, call it, preferred customer package or whatever, and you just added some other services. This is a little trick that you could try. You could just list out the same services that you already provide individually, and then put a price next to them and make it a la carte. And then next to that a la carte, put the other price that is the new price. And then people will look at it and say, okay, I could do any of these individual services. And if I got all these individual services that I would obviously want, it would cost me $1,000. But if I buy the package only costs me $7.99. Okay. So they feel like they saved $200. So maybe before you were doing all this stuff for $300. Now you went from 300 to $800 just simply by listing out all the things you do and what they cost. No different than when you go to the steakhouse. The steak is $60. The individual orders of all this stuff, yeah, we don't got no individual orders no more. You just got to get the family dining package. So now instead of you getting one baked potato that costs $4, now you get family style baked potato that costs $12. Or you could get some type of executive package and that costs you 150, 180. But again, you do these things within the pricing system once you better understand what your customer really wants and really needs. Because the guy trying to impress his girlfriend, he gonna order the executive package. I remember we used to go to Navy Pier, and you park and you be walking toward Navy Pier. You got your girl, you're feeling real good about yourself. She looking good, she's smelling good, and you trying to impress her. So guess what? Here come the man with the roses. Rose for the lady. Now you stuck. Got to go and get this man his money for this rose because you're trying to impress him. Yeah. Now in the beginning, guys weren't that smart. They were trying to sell one rose. You know. But hey, instead of selling one rose, why not let me sell a half a dozen? Hey, half a dozen, $20. Easier to get that half a dozen off than it is to get that one. But I got a guy in a compromised position because he really wants to impress this girl, or he really needs to impress this girl. He really needs to make this night memorable. So yeah, he buys the roses. Why? Because you can't come home or you can't impress the girl by looking cheap. You know, That's just how it works. Fortunate or unfortunate, but be aware of it. You know, if you have a restaurant, put together a package where you throw in a bottle of champagne, or you throw in a dessert, or you throw in a little VIP room. You give them something that allows them to stand out to the person they're trying to impress. You know, if you're a homeowner, hey, and you're trying to Airbnb a house, throw in some things. Hey, we'll get the groceries for you. You send me the list, I'll pick the groceries up, additional $20. So now you stand out. You're adding more value. When we show up, all of our groceries are there, everything we need is there. So now I just saved them time. Again, those are the things that you want to look at. Like, how do I make this easier, faster, less stressful for the person so that they choose me, so that they pay me, so that I'm able to meet my obligations and take my vacations and treat my kids and do all the things as a business owner I know I need to do each and every day. So another question that people are always asking me is, should you run a sale and for how long? Okay. Should you run sales? Absolutely. I'm not against sales. Sales are extremely important, but it's a lot easier to run the sale where your price point is right. Had a client and we raised the price. And after raising the price, then we ran a sale. So let's just say the item was $100. Okay. But at $100, you were not getting enough margin to live on. You were basically just getting enough to turn around and reinvest in more product. So we raised the price to 175. Okay, so now it's 175. You're like, yeah, this is not good. I'm afraid. I think I'm not gonna be able to get sales. But then what you find out is that once we start stacking the value and adding the value and showing all the different additional values, then when we ran a $50 off sale or $50 coupon, instead of you making $100, now you make 125. So now you're getting 25 more dollars every time you run one. You know. So now if you run a 15% off sale, you're getting more money every time. If it was $200 and you ran 15% off, you'd get, just say you take $30 off, that'd be 170. You make a $70 profit over what your old profit used to be. And people would want to do it because the only people you'd be talking to are people who really need it and really want it. And now somebody who really needs it, really wants it, and is struggling with price, not because they don't really need it or really want it, but because maybe they just simply don't have the money. Now they are like, cool, here's my chance to get it at a discounted rate. Which, to go back to the other thing, and I'm sorry I left this out, but to go back to the other thing, you get all of the people who are on the fence when you tell them the price is going up. All those people who were like, man, it's $100, but now you tell them it's going to be 175 or it's going to be 150. on the first, it's like, oh, cool. Now I gave them enough time to get their money up. You know, gave them enough time to get their money up, get their stuff together, borrow some money from somebody so that they could then take advantage of this opportunity. You know, so that's when you should. You know, and how long should you run a sale? There's a variety of ways to run sales. I typically try to use the calendar. Like, is it Mother's Day? Is it Easter? Any of those things. Back to school, same calendar that the retailers use. And what you do when you run a sale, you want to run it past payday. This is a huge mistake that people make. You know, you want to run it past the payday. If you have working class customers, middle class customers who live check to check, why would you cut a sale off before they get a check? So if you've been typically running your sale to the 30th, extend it 2 days, extend it 3 days. Instead of running it to the 30th, run it to the third. Why? Because that gives people who get paid on the first a chance to get their money and buy your item. If you run sales on the 15th, run them to like the 19th. If you run them to the 19th, gives them an opportunity to get their check. If you have seniors, gives them an opportunity to get their check on the first. You know, can you imagine somebody who really wanted your item getting a check and then now the sale's over with? And they would have bought it during the sale period. And now they wait, hoping that you run another sale versus, man, I could have got this right now. I could have got it right now. So you take away people who've been planning and plotting and thinking and dreaming of doing business with you, you take away their opportunity. I mean, you're running a sale, so run it past the day that the people get their checks. That's just a little. Once you're in the business, you probably figure this out kind of thing. And some people in business still have not figured this out. But yeah, that's a little gem that I want you guys to know. So yeah, by the way, man, make sure that you're hitting like and subscribe. Make sure that you're going and you're joining our mailing list over at growningrich.com, because I've been running my mouth for way too long without mentioning it. You need to like, subscribe, share. Um, Go to growningrich.com, join the mailing list. If you go join the mailing list or set up a Make Money Fast call, hey, you can actually get a chance to talk to me for free. And we can talk about your business and what's going on in your business. And I can do an assessment of your marketing and your posts and all those things and tell you maybe where you're going wrong and how to fix it. And like I said, a lot of times now we can fix it in 10 or 15 minutes, depending on what it is. So again, Make Money Fast call. It's free. It's on me. And yeah, you just go over to growningrich.com and do it. Also, if you join, then you'll get a copy of the free ebook, How to Retire Off One Property, written by Dwayne Ransford. It's a book that once you get your money up, you can dabble with some real estate. It'll show you how to take one property and turn it into millions, just like he did. Yeah, so that's out there too. And there's a ton of podcasts that I've already done and trainings that I've already done over there. So if you're somebody who woke up this morning or wakes up every morning knowing, man, hey, I need to get it and I'm not getting enough of it, join us, join the movement. Because again, my work is generating millions of dollars, is being copied by people all over the industry, and it's help people retire their wives, help them start other businesses, help them buy properties and buildings and all type of stuff. I've created a ton of full-time entrepreneurs, so do not miss this opportunity. Again, not gonna be here forever, and if you can get it done today and it could change today, why not change it today? Again, that's why we want the really wants and the really needs. Because if you really want it, you really need it. Ain't no reason to wait. That's right. Ain't no reason to wait. So anyway, is it ever okay to lower your price? Yeah. If you are at a point and you realize, hey man, maybe I've priced myself out of the market, or maybe certain situations have occurred that um put you in a position where people aren't buying, and you're like, well, maybe if I lowered the price. Well, here's what you do. You lower the price, but you lower it for a short period of time. You know, you do a whole bunch of emailing and cold calling and promoting, letting people know, hey, you know, there's a window coming up real soon, i.e., your Black Friday, your lowest price of the season. Those are two of the great ones. I've had a ton of sale with lowest price of the season. You know, again, stole it from retail. You know, lowest price of the season. Like it's never going to be any cheaper than this right here. You know, so now you give people a window. You give people a period of time. You know, why? Because that creates urgency. Okay. And if you want to get up and you want to get going today, here's the price. Now, for you as the business owner, that works because it allows you to put money in immediately. Another thing that works is if you're joining a group, you know, always, you know, offer a grandfather price. You know, once a year we offer a grandfather price. You know, we roll back the clock. Um, that's another way to lower your price without really lowering your price. Um, Roll back the clock, turn back sale. You know, again, it's just simply for a short period of time. You know, so if you do it, make sure that you let people know that it's coming. If you're struggling with sales, like, okay, cool, we're 2 weeks out. You know, we got something really big coming. It's gonna be our lowest price of the season, and you put all your energy into it. You call everybody in your phone. You email every email lead you got. You you do everything you possibly can. You know, you talk to every other influencer. Hell, you try to get on some podcasts and promote it so that when you do it, that you give yourself the absolute best opportunity possible to see as much income come at one time as you could hope. So again, lowering price, but you want to do it, and you want to do it, excuse me, but you want to do it at a time that you can really maximize it. So you want to set it up. And again, make sure you set it up around paydays because you want to make sure that people have their money. You know, if a person has money in their pocket, it's a lot more likely to get an impulse buy out of them than you are somebody else who's been economically deprived, and now you got them at the end of the month, and they got to choose between survival and safety. And you, again, survival and safety are the number one and number two things that people fear losing. You know, people fear losing houses and food and clothing and shelter and things of that nature. So they want to get their survival needs met, and then they want to put themselves in a safe position where their survival needs are not threatened. So don't compete against those things unless you're selling survival things. You know, if you're selling water or electricity or, you know, property or something where, you know, people could get put out, then maybe you could compete. But if you're selling something that is not a survival need, then try not to compete with those things. Because there are very few times when people are just going to um, throw tons of money at something that they don't need at the risk of something that they do. You know, maybe you see it in gambling, but then, you know, obviously those people have perhaps a gambling problem. You know, and if you're doing that, then you've already reconciled that you don't have a problem taking money from people who may ultimately end up homeless. But if that's not you, then just don't do it. You know, but you can really get real close to that line without crossing it. But you know, that's where we're at. That's been the podcast for today. Um, Clap for me, clap for you. You know, for tuning in and sticking in. And if you stayed this long, make sure you hit the subscribe button so when we jump on again, you could be here with us. And share your friends and share with your friends. Please share with your friends. You know, caring is sharing, sharing is caring. So this is your business, big bro, Sadon Long, the most dangerous man in marketing. Signing out for another episode of Successful Marketing, Sales, and Relationships for adult business owners and entrepreneurs. Have a great day.